Welcome back to the next Dano Can YouTube video. We are here in the ghost town of Rowley. It is the last Saturday of the month, and that means one thing: pizza night. We're camping here for the weekend, couple nights, Canada Day long weekend, pizza night, ghost towns. What more could you possibly want? Let's go check it out. So a quick look around Bella the Bowler's campsite here, where we're set up in Rowley for the weekend. Of course, you know Bella and Mabel. We have our gazebo in the corner. That's our friends Dale and Janice there. Then in the nice escape is Rory and Jean, also friends of ours. And then this fifth wheel belongs to, I believe it's Rory's brother. So we got a nice little enclave with the four of us set up here. Kind of a town square in the middle configuration. Lots of people have set up their RVs in the little field over between the elevator and the old church. We're back over in the campground area there, just on the outskirts of town, the west side of town. Always good to come back to Rowley. Train station's here. Still pretty quiet on Main Street. That won't last for long, of course. This place will be jumping tonight. Pizza starts at 5 o'clock, or the orders start at 5 o'clock. The lineup, which will be just outside the community hall here, will start much sooner than that. They'll have Main Street roped off here for a beer gardens. And Sam Saloon will be hopping as well. Speaking of Sam Saloon, there it is. The all-time classic. Now I guess I should back up a step. I made the assumption that everyone knows about Rowley and pizza night because we've covered it on the channel here multiple times. But just in case you're new here, basically Rowley is a town here kind of north, let's call it just north of Drumheller. Basically population's about 12 permanent residents, but every night on the last Saturday, or every month on the last Saturday of that month, they hold a pizza night. And the money raised from the selling of pizzas goes into the support and maintenance of the town. So the town is a really interesting combination of private residences, classic historical buildings, such as the big blue house on the corner, the United Church, and then other buildings that have been built for various movies that have been filmed in the area here, like this bank building right in the front, and this funeral home and embalming building. So a lot of these were movie sets originally, and have now come to kind of give us a ghost town flavor. Some of the interesting parts of things, like the bank building here, was originally just a facade for the filming of Bye Bye Blues, I believe it was. And then they actually made it into a real building after the fact. The Lions Garage here in the forefront is a reconstruction. The original building was in bad shape and was demolished sometime, I believe, in the 2010s. It was still the original building when I first came here in 2006. But the Sam Saloon and the Rowley Trading Post are both original buildings from when this was a pioneer railroad town. Outside of the grain elevators, I would say this big blue house on the corner is probably one of the more famous buildings in town. Played a pretty prominent role in Bye Bye Blues, which I believe was filmed here in 1987. Suffering from some foundational and structural issues. A lot of the windows are open and exposed to the elements, so it's sad to say, but it's not unlikely that at some point in the not too distant future this building will be just a memory. I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but the foundation along here is really starting to buckle outwards. And really, once you get water intrusion to the inside and foundation problems, it's usually not long before the buildings disappear. And as the parade of volunteers and pizza guests roll in behind me, it's, you got to sell a lot of pizzas to take on a restoration project like this house. So instead, we'll focus on the success stories, like the historic United Church here, and of course the grain elevators in the background. The town just recently received another provincial grant, I believe it was a provincial grant, not long ago, for further maintenance and updates on the elevators. They've been repainted once since I was first here in 2006, but wood structures and prairie weather means they're due for more maintenance here in the near future. There is so much pride that the residents of this town have in the town, in their individual yards. Like, look how nicely manicured this is. There are a lot of towns across the Canadian prairies that are, similar in size, number of residents remaining that you can count on one or two hands. And sometimes those towns just feel downright creepy, a little, how shall we say, dueling banjos playing, kind of creepy. Rowley does not have that feel. Rowley is a town with a lot of pride. And I think, the pizza night thing is really the catalyst behind that makes it happen, because towns don't have a lot of funds to maintain things normally, whereas Rowley does. Look at the old barn / livery stable, the grain elevators, people camped in the field there in front of the grain elevators. While there are no designated campsites, there are specific areas of the town that are set aside for random camping, essentially. And there's no mandatory fee. It's all purely based on a donation basis. So there's a collection box at the community center. Pay what you can, pay what you will, and again, all goes to help support the town. And we can see some of the efforts, or the results of the efforts, with the fundraising. There's some new playground equipment in place here that's been recently added. This stage has been added outside the bank building so that the bands don't have to play just inside Sam's. There's a little awning there, so if it's a little bit rainy or a little bit sunny, they can get some shade or shelter while they play. Tons of picnic tables here set up. This will all be packed in tonight here in a matter of a few hours. It's not quite 2 o'clock in the afternoon yet, so the crowd still has lots of time to shuffle in. You can see there, they're getting ready to start roping off Main Street. Rowley is a lot of fun on pizza nights, but it's also, I think, even more fun to visit on a non-pizza night, when there's a lot fewer people around. It's just you and the locals, and it's a very quiet and relaxing place. Certainly one of our favorite towns. We visited here many, many times over the years. So we have the railway tracks, an original Canadian Northern Railway train station. The town was founded in 1910. The tracks were ripped up through this area in the late 1990s. This used to be the terminus for the Alberta Prairie Railway, and their steam runs out of Stettler. But when the tracks were removed, it had to get moved north of here to Big Valley, Alberta. Another great town to visit. So it's about 3:30. The lineup is starting to form down the sidewalk. It's always a real festival type atmosphere. Everybody in lines chatting to each other. You get to know the people in line pretty good as you wait here, you know, an hour and a half before they even start taking orders. I have been tasked with getting us the beer and then heading back in line. There we go, the line is moving, sort of. 5 o'clock, doors are open, band is playing, pizzas are being ordered. There we go. Emily got her pizza. What was that? The standard pepperoni mushroom?
Yep.
Okay. And in keeping in weird fashion, I did spicy Italian sausage and pineapple. Because Canadian pineapple. Hey, what the hell? Well, of course I finished it.
I mean, I know.
It's only a 12-inch pizza. Like, come on.
Let you finish the rest of hers or it'd be gone too.
So it's 7:15. The hall is closed. They've sold out of their pizza crusts. Janice, our friend, asked them earlier, and they had sold 323 pizzas tonight. Apparently the all-time record is in 380 range. They actually cut it off at 330 now.
Are we going to do a band of just 2 people?
See, this is the idea I originally had said, was getting an antique fire truck and putting a bunch of seats on the hose bed and then doing Badlands tours. Good morning and welcome to day 2. Just getting ready, starting breakfast. No idea what the day has in mind right now, but it's a little overcast, a little cooler, but it's a beautiful day to wake up in a ghost town. So we have ventured beyond the borders of Rowley and have come out here into the prairie countryside to take a look at a place that we visited at least once, if not twice, on the channel, multiple times over the years. And that is Springwater School, one of the few one-room prairie schoolhouses that was built out of stone. Well, this is new since our last visit. Little ski-doo snowmobile fella here on the corner. It's funny, I thought I heard a drone, but I think it's just the farmer who owns that property down there doing some weed whacking or trimming. So, back to the school. And this here, we're on the north side of the school. You can see it looks like at one time there were some windows here. You can see the arch over above them. They also could have been the old coal chutes for loading coal into the furnace down in the basement. Or more likely, actually, this was the coal chute. And of course, time to go check out the inside. Pretty significant water stain on the floor there. And I can see sunlight coming through the roof. So yeah, there's definitely water intrusion. Go check out the basement. Duck the cobwebs here. Doesn't look like a lot has changed down here since we're last here. Not much can change, I guess. Clean out door at the top, number 470 McClary. All cast sunshine, and then draft door down at the bottom.
Dust dampener.
Oh yeah, dust dampener. And I think, yes, I'm not going to get into those cobwebs, but there's one of those boarded up accesses we saw on the outside. This was probably the coal room at one point. Another boarded up coal chute. Actually concreted over. Shirley.
Yeah, that was not written up there. They might have used it as a community hall or something.
Gorinus and David Hall. If you know either of them, let us know. Their names are still down here on the board or on the wood here in the basement. Helen something or other. I continue to trip on things. Old signboard over here that said Springwater. Can't quite make out what it used to say underneath it. First time I visited the school was in 2006, and I didn't have a flashlight, so I didn't come into the basement on that trip. But did make a return visit a couple years later or so, and brought the proper equipment to come down here and check it out. This little storage closet area. Back upstairs. Old National Geographic magazines dating from the late 20s, early 30s. More books here. The New Teachers and Pupils Encyclopedia. An advanced course in algebra. David Plackner, Room 949.999, Alberta College. Oh, somebody here thinks school sucks. But if that's how you spell, I think maybe you should stay in school. And of course, after its function as a school, it served as a community center for a number of years. Obviously, if you believe this sign, right up until the mid-80s. The old stage curtain still hanging there, waiting to come down on a new series of productions that probably will never happen. The echoes here of laughter once rang in the empty rooms where the tiny coats wiped out, where friends once met and lunches we shared, where hopscotch was played and best friends were paired. Forever silent, the echoes still sing in the creak of the floorboards, playground, the swings. Something, friends now past, teachers now gone, teachers long gone, all that remains is the gathering place in the town they called home. By Carlene. And it's funny, we talk about the memories that are tied up in these old buildings and all the events that took place. And even standing here now, I can't help but think of the people we've visited the school with in the past on previous trips, like our friend Jim Pearson and his partner Donna, who are both gone now. And they were here. Of course, I've mentioned on the channel before, Jim made an appearance in the National Film Board film every Saturday night, part of which was filmed at this location. And there's a brief clip of him standing at the front door of the school holding the door open as the musicians are loading their instruments in. So yeah, there's a lot of history tied up in here. Last one out, turn off the lights. So now to try something that I have been wanting to do for almost 15 years, and that's come to the Rumsey Cemetery to see if we can find the grave of Sam Leung, the namesake of Sam's Saloon. So we're going to start making our way around here. Find a Grave did not have a location. It did not have a photo. But we know Sam died in 1971, so we're going to use that as our clue and see what we can find. We got some 1960s, some 1980s. I suspect this section over here looks to be more original. It's probably a little too old for our purposes. Yeah, 1920. $1944, yeah, this section's too old. I think we need to focus over here. Yeah, so that section looks too old. 90s. Okay, let's see. I am gonna go down, I'll go down this row. And like I was saying, Find a Grave didn't even have a photo of it, so I don't even know exactly what we're looking for. Nope. 85, 73. This all looks too new. Well, we're still hunting. This middle section of the cemetery over here seems to have graves from the right era. We just can't find them yet. Come out wherever you are, Sam. We just want to say hi. This section seems too new. Well, I'm moving on into a different section, the older section here that I don't think is going to be right, but you never can tell. After we've looked in all the places that we know it's not, all that's left is the places we don't think it could be. And there is no directory here. So it really is just hope you stumble across it, figuratively, not literally. This is the very early section of the cemetery. But again, we know where he's not. I mean, some of these, the headstones are so worn off, you couldn't read it if you wanted to. Here's a Sam, not the Sam we're looking for. You would think from 1971, his headstone wouldn't have worn that much, so it should still be readable. Well, we gave it a good shot. With 8 of us searching, I think we've looked at every headstone in this place. We could not find it. I don't remember if I mentioned it earlier, but I know on Find a Grave, there's no photo of it. So maybe there's a reason why. We've got a whole lot of nothing here. Lots of other really neat headstones, but no luck in finding Sam of Sam's Saloon. Well, that's what you get when you record live. You never know, you might not find what you're looking for. So we've moved locations again. This time we've come to the Rowley Cemetery. Now, while everything I've read online says Sam is buried in Rumsey, the bottom line is we couldn't find him there, and the historical record isn't always accurate. And really, there isn't a lot about Sam's final resting spot online. So that's why it's like, you know what? It's still a nice day. We have lots of time. Let's check out the Rowley Cemetery and see if by chance we stumble across any clues here. So here we go again. We're taking the same approach. 8 of us have spread out, and we're just walking the rows. Well, we didn't find Sam yet, but we did find the swallows. And if you're familiar with Rowley at all and have been there, the name Swallow is attached to the livery stable that still stands in town. I can't remember, going from memory, if the barn says George Swallow or Henry Swallow, but they're both here. There's a really nice view of Rowley from here. The cemetery's kind of up on a little rise just out of the town. So you have the grain elevators on the horizon and rolling farmland as far as the eye can see. So did a check, brought up the phone, looked at some old pictures that we took at Rowley, and yeah, the livery barn was Henry Swallow, H. Swallow. The livery barn was in operation from 1917 to 1967. So 50 years the Swallows ran that facility, and we saw their final resting place here. We weren't successful in finding Sam, but that's okay. This just means it's a mystery to be solved another day, and we have another reason to go back and search the Rumsey Cemetery again, maybe when we get some more information. So, we didn't find Sam's grave on this trip, but it's a goal for a future trip. But I figured I would come down here and stand outside Sam's Saloon and do the sign-off for this video. And what we did find was Russ, Frank, and Avery, and Tammy, I believe. I hope I got all the names right. I had a couple beer at that point, but they were fans of the channel. They recognized us in line for pizza last night and stopped, had a great chat with all four of them. Wonderful people, and it was so awesome to see people who actually watch our stuff and enjoy what we do, and we really appreciate it, and we're really glad that you stopped to say hi and talk to us. That was fantastic. Like I said, I hope I got everybody's names right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Please correct me down in the comments, but it was great to meet you guys. Always fun when we run into people who know us and we get to know them. So from the deserted streets of Rowley, Alberta, we'll see you in the next video.